Hey guys, Ellen Woodbridge here, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia, and I would like to welcome you back for our third year of the Christmas Stampathon, and this year we're Christmas Stampathon 2020. And for our first challenge this year, we are doing a sketch, and I'm going to insert that here so you can see what the sketch challenge is. And here are the cards I've done. I've turned the sketch on its side and I've used the Making Spirits Bright and Merry Christmas to All stamp sets, as well as the Peacock, the Noble Peacock specialty paper, and the matching foil, as well as some matching embellishments. So let's get along and make the cards. So the challenge is to make 4 or more cards, and I am up to my last one. And because I've been making so many, I have set up my Stamparatus. So for this, I am just popping a piece of Whisper White paper into, and I think I'm a piece of Whisper White paper short, but that's okay, into the Stamparatus. And I do actually have a tiny ampersand here that is from the Make a Difference stamp set, and it is just here. I love all these fonts, but the ampersand is actually very, very useful. So the 3 colors that I'm using are Blueberry Bushel, Pretty Peacock, and Old Olive. So I'm probably going to stamp this twice to get a really nice crisp image, and I'm actually going to flip this piece around and do it twice because I am 2 sentiments short for my project. So I'll just show you how quickly with the Stamparatus we can have these done. Now, I'm not doing any editing in this video, so you're seeing all my stamping in real time. So I'm finished with this plate, so I've just taken it out of my Stamparatus, and I do have my other stamps mounted on this plate ready to go. So next I'm going to use Pretty Peacock for our Merry and our Bright. So the Bright is from the Making Spirits Bright stamp set, and the Merry is from the Merry Christmas to All stamp set. Now that has just moved slightly, but do you know what? It adds a really nice shadow. I am just going to stamp it again to get a nice bold image. I don't mind that smudge in the background at all because it's handmade, not Hallmark. So let's go again for a second image. Okay, now just make sure the cardstock is nice and tight into that corner. Okay, that is all done, and now I'm going to flip this plate around and we're going to use the wreath image from the set, from the Making Spirits Bright set. And I'll just pop the card in here at the top so you can see what we're stamping. I'm probably going to do this twice just to give a nice depth of colour. So I pre-lined all of this up on the Stamparatus just to make this stamping go really easily. I do find, especially with sentiments, I sometimes want to stamp things more than once. So if I have them set up on the Stamparatus, I have more than one bite at the cherry of getting them stamped beautifully. Okay, so that is that all done. I'm going to pull this out of the Stamparatus and just pop that off to the side. Also going to pop my ink pads off to the side because that could spell disaster. So all I did was use my 2 1/4 inch circle punch to punch these out. And these are, I do need to do a touch of trimming here because this piece must just be a little larger than the other pieces that I used. I'm just using up some scraps of cardstock, and this is a great way to get them used. And just trim the tiniest bit off this side, and then we can go in and punch this as well. And I may have just trimmed the perfect amount, and that has collided with, oh, don't throw the circle out, don't throw that out, and retrieve the other one. So just remember, with the sketch, it is a sketch as a guide. You don't need to use all the elements, although it is designed to complement each other with the elements. You can flip it on its side, upside down. There are many ways to use the sketch, which is absolutely fantastic. So as I say, I flipped it on its side, but I could have flipped it totally upside down. I could have put all the elements to the right instead of the left. There were many things I could do, and of course, being a sketch, you can interpret it with whatever images you want. I could have used something quite floral and Christmassy rather than me going quite graphic with the Noble Peacock papers, which whilst they aren't Christmas papers, this just gives me the feel of wrapping paper, that luxurious foil that you get around the Christmas season. So I am putting my hand in these ink pads everywhere. It's my silly fault for leaving them open, but you can use just some hand sanitizer to get rid of that excess off your hands, so you then don't get it on your projects. That is your top tip for the day. So with foil, I find it best not to use wet glue because it does buckle. So what I use is just snail adhesive, and just to pop this together, just going to line this bit up here. It's probably the perfect amount, and that's as straight as we're going to. Oh, that's really not straight at all. That's quite crooked. But do you know what? It's stuck down, so we will absolutely leave it as is. And just to adhere the bottom piece, of course my snail doesn't want to run over, and it is, snail doesn't necessarily like the back of foil treated paper because it is quite slippery. You may just need to be a touch patient in getting that snail to run, but of course every other piece it worked perfectly with today, except for the one that I'm filming. So I've popped that down, and now I'm just going to cover the back of this. And do you know what? Pressure has a lot to do with it as well. Just got to have that right amount, and I just want to go all the way along this. So this year, the Christmas Stampathon challenge is a little bit different. I do have the video of our announcement of that. We won't have any major prizes as such. And this piece is way too long, but I am actually just going to grab my scissors, which were around here a second ago, and trim this down. So we'll be sending out random cards, the cards that Esther and I make, to various recipients or various just random participants during the challenge. So we'll be running from today, the 25th of January, all the way through till the 25th of November will be our last challenge. So just using snail adhesive again on the back of this piece. Now I'm just popping this on a piece of Whisper White cardstock. I just like how it just makes all these foil pieces pop. And you'll see what I mean when I bring over the old olive card base. So I've got the pretty peacock, the blueberry bushel, and the old olive. So this is where, because we are sticking Whisper White, I can grab my multi-purpose adhesive, which I've used so much today. There we go. Take the glue goober off and it starts flowing beautifully. Okay, pop that lid on because we don't need it anymore, and just stick this down. Then it will be a matter of popping on our sentiment and the final touch of the Noble Peacock rhinestones. So if you noticed in my original cards that I showed you at the start, I've used all three colors, in all three of the colors in the Noble Peacock rhinestones to coordinate with this card. Okay, so just pop this down, and this sort of, it connects with three of the layers, which makes it the focal point. So I'm going to grab, if I can find it, it is right here. I'm going to grab my other card base that is waiting for the sentiment. Do you ever have those days where the backings of dimensionals just want to follow you around the house? I found some in the toilet earlier. They just follow me around. They hunt me down. Okay, so these are the Noble Peacock rhinestones. You've got blueberry bushel, gorgeous grape. I think I want to say floaty flamingo, but don't quote me on that. Old olive and pretty peacock. So blueberry bushel, old olive and pretty peacock were the colors that I have used. I'm going to, for our final card, and you know what, the poking tool on the take your pick tool works perfectly for this. So just popping three of all the same size just down here as the perfect finishing touch. So not only do you have the shine of the foil paper, you've got the shimmer and shine of the rhinestones as well. Good thing about this tool is, because I haven't popped this down totally, I can make sure these line up as perfectly as one can get them. So I will have a link below in the comments to where you can join the group and join the challenges. It's a great way for us all to get ready for Christmas, and the challenges will come out on the 25th of each month, starting now in January. So I hope to see you over at the group and look forward to seeing your fantastic creations. Esther and I are very excited about this year, and we shall catch you next month in February. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.